This episode of Uzo Talk is brought to you by Meet the Greek. From the traditional souvlaki and kodosouvli to seafood, house-made dips, and delicious variations on the classics, Meet the Greek is the perfect place to get a true taste of Greece. Visit meetthegreek.com.au or call 02 9597 5062 to make a booking. Meet the Greek, proud sponsors of the Uzo Talk podcast.
Sound is.
And we're back. Nick Athanasiou, I cannot believe we have reached nearly the end of another season of Uzo Talk, and the big hits just keep on coming, don't they?
They do, Tom. It's, season 4, and would you believe we're still growing? We've had our biggest month ever last month.
Wow.
We haven't even plateaued out yet.
Really? Well, mate, I'm sensing you're going to tell us about the numbers. What are we looking like? Who have we hit? What's going on?
Well, on the numbers front, we've hit our 152nd country.
Wow.
Solomon Islands, 152nd country.
Unbelievable.
And would you believe their ethnicity? I think it's their ethnicity. They call themselves Melanese people.
Is that right?
Yeah, so they're different to the Micronesians
Yes.
and different to the Polynesians. Okay. So they're the three sort of different ethnicities within our Pacific region.
Wow.
And do they have that Greek-sounding word?
Melanese?
Melanesian, Micronesian, Polynesian?
I'll take it.
Well, they are. They're named after Greek things. So
Is that
Polynesian, Polynesia.
Sure. Okay.
Micronesian, small islands. And Melanesian, so dark islands.
Very good.
Yeah,
fantastic.
so how's that?
That's fantastic. Well, mate, I can't help but think that maybe it's got something to do with me meeting the Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands recently, but maybe that's got something to do with it. You reckon the people in the Solomon Islands are listening because of that?
I'd say it's a good chance. They're from Honiara, so
Okay.
That's the capital. So I would say there's a good chance. So
Interesting.
Thank you, mate. 152nd country. Thanks to you.
Fantastic.
Classic. It's got a big shout out as well to Ari Kalouris. So Ari Kalouris' dad, Petros, listened to the Hislop episode.
Victoria Hislop, yep.
Victoria Hislop, and he bought the book, The Island. And
wow.
his son, young Ari, took the book, read it in a couple of days, and absolutely loved it. So
Wow.
good on you, Ari. You're a legend. And Petros, you're going to have to steal that book back and read it, my friend.
How old is Ari now?
He's 12.
12 years old, and he read that book in 2 days.
Couple of days. Yeah,
Wow.
several. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So they just got back from Greece. So that was his book to read on the plane. But young Ari claimed it.
Fantastic. Well, Victoria, we're spreading the word, and it's reaching the next generation now. How good's that, huh?
Definitely.
All right, well, we're here to welcome someone. Obviously, you will have heard over the last few years, we had the now former Consul General of Greece here in Sydney, Yannis Malikourtis. We have a replacement Yanni now, don't we?
We do. But look, it means we've outlasted the Consular General tenure.
We have. No one would have thought that, right?
Who would have thought our podcast would last that long?
It's true, but we've managed to do it. And look, let's get into the meat of it, because we do have him in the room with us, the new Consul General of Greece here in Sydney, Giorgos Skemperis. Welcome to Uzo Talk, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
An honour to have you here with us. Are you as shocked and as awe-inspired as we are?
I'm very, very much, because I have to tell you that as a young guy, I was an amateur radio producer.
Oh, really?
So this thing with the microphones and the headphones and everything, I feel very familiar with.
Piratiko?
Piratiko.
Fantastic. How good's that?
That is semi-legal.
Yes.
Back in the early 90s in Greece.
This is an incredible tradition of semi-legal
Semi-legal.
broadcasting in Greece. Some amazing people have come out of that sort of school of, let's call it, radio and broadcasting.
I was going to say, you look like a natural. You sat down, you knew what to do, and, you done it. So
Put the headphones on.
Back in the days, I would have the microphone, but I also have two MK2, the players for the disc players.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Two of those, and the console to myself arrange the sound and the volume and the microphone, and I would have to speak also during the change of the two songs.
There you go. Well, you could swap notes with Tom, because Tom does that for us, but you do the 2025 version.
Yeah, but in fairness, like, you could do that, what Giorgos just spoken about, you could do that on a laptop very easily today. Multitasking like that
Huge
in
multitasking.
analog.
Yeah.
unbelievable. And I mean, the way that you would line things up, it must have been great fun, though.
No, it was very stressful, but it was popular among the female population. So
the female population, what were you playing?
Anything. You were a radio producer. You would put the bass. Your voice would be very, deep and.
Barry White.
It was artificial. You put the bass.
Wow.
These are the tricks of the trade. We haven't done this yet.
I've learnt so much already.
I know.
Deep voice always works.
Love it. Well, in this particular mix, if you hear my voice a little bit deeper and syrupy,
okay,
you know why.
As of now. No.
As of right now. Fantastic. Well, Giorgos is here to answer. Well, number one, we're here to meet him and understand
definitely
who you are.
And introduce you to the community as well and learn a bit more about you.
Yeah, because we have such an important role. Obviously, there's a lot of important questions, burning questions from the Greek diaspora here in Sydney. Shall we get into it properly, Nick? What do you reckon?
Definitely, Tom. I think it's time to have a drink.
Yamas.
Cheers. Welcome.
Welcome, Giorgos. And at this point, I have to say that we do have one other person in the room, the Trade Commissioner, Chryssa Prokopaki, who has been on the show before, in fact, at the Greek Festival. She doesn't have a microphone, but hello, Chryssa. Welcome.
Welcome, Chryssa. And she's leaving us as well.
She is leaving us. We're going to have a replacement soon.
It's like a farewell.
It's
Greetings
a welcome
and farewell.
Exactly, two sides of the same coin. Right?
There's a proper Cretan. She's a Tsikoudia sponsor to the show, I think. No,
that's true. She was very kind to bring a bottle of Tsikoudia, and we did have probably the most important bottle that we've got in the cover here. Is the bottle that you provided from your father, which is an unbelievable drop. Do we have any more left?
Definitely. We might have a little bit left, but we're saving that because we had our finale episode, the end of season 3.
That's right.
We did a taste testing on Tsipro or Tsikoudia, and your bottle was up there. It was amazing.
My God. That was a messy episode, wasn't it?
It was. Well, we're due for one. We're due for our finale in the next couple of weeks. So.
Stay tuned for that. Let's see what we come up with. Well, we do have sponsors on board, obviously. We do have the drinks courtesy of the Greek Providor and Chryssa today, obviously. But the Greek Providor, we've got all of these amazing bottles lined up. 35N from Crete. Thank you very much. Dimino from Mytilene. We've got Chiotissa here. We've got all sorts of things. Whatever you like, we can jump into it, can't we?
Definitely. And Giorgos gone for the Chiotissa as well.
Which we had last time.
What do you think, Giorgos? Nice drop?
Amazing. It's amazing. Very nice.
It is. That's our new favourite now, isn't it?
For the moment, anyway. So, thegreekprovidor.com.au.
Excellent. Well done, guys. Giorgos, it's all about you, my friend. Where were you born? And let's go through your background and your ancestors.
Well, I was born in Macedonia, Greece, in Ceres region, which is in the northeast of Thessaloniki, not very far away, about an hour by car. And then when I was around 8 or 9, we moved to a smaller town of the same region, which is called Nigrita, still in the Ceres region, because my parents were from there. I grew up there. It was like 5,000 people, the population.
Wow.
Farmers, basically, most of them. They were cultivating the tobacco, which is a very traditional thing in Greece, especially in the old days.
There you go.
According to them, at least, we produce the best tobacco in the world. It's so good that the big companies, they just put a very small quantity of that in the cigarette just to make it taste better.
Is that right?
It's one of the most expensive kind of tobacco.
Wow. And is that where your grandparents were born? How far back does your lineage go?
At least 3 or 4 generations. They were from Macedonia, Greek-speaking Macedonians, with the only exception of one grandfather, my mother's father, who came from Kalymnos.
Oh, right.
But
another one.
Yeah, Kalinian.
Kalinian.
But I guess because of his name, we probably think the family came from Crete, because they have a Cretan name. They're called Markadakis.
Okay.
So probably they left in the 19th century from Crete. They went to Kalymnos. And my grandfather, he was a doctor. He studied in Athens, and then he wanted some money to pay off the loan he had taken to finish the medical school. So he accepted to go to the frontier, which was northern Greece, because it had been incorporated to the Greek state only 15 years before. So it was like the frontier, like the Midwest in 19th century in the US.
Wow.
Nobody wanted to go there. But there was more money there. You could make money more easily. He was the guy on the white horse, nice suit. He met my grandmother, which back then was 14. He asked for her hand, as we say, from her parents. Mm-hmm. My grandmother she was very smart and very had a strong personality. Said, "Yeah, I like this guy." Of course, she liked him because she was the only guy with a suit and a white horse.
And a white horse,
yeah,
and
literally a white horse.
But she had terms.
Okay,
and said, "I have one condition, that we will not get married until I finish high school."
Wow. Okay.
Which was all the way to 18 years. So, and my grandfather said, yeah, of course. Actually, eventually, he waited for 14 years, not 4, because then there was the German occupation and the Civil War and many other stuff. But he waited for her to finish her studies, which for the 30s, we're talking about in Greece, that was very extraordinary for a girl to do the whole education thing.
That is unbelievable. I did not expect that story to go like that.
No, me neither. Because we talked about education. Like a lot of our answers, none of them had an education.
Yeah. Well, even in that last episode that we did on the Greek resistance, we were talking about this was a highly conservative society, Greece at that point in time. And the fact that education was not as high a priority as it is at least
for the
today.
Girls, at least.
For women, yes.
Yeah. And, imagine this agricultural region of northern Greece with the tobacco things like the American South or something. And in the summer, my grandmother, she was not rich or something, but they would have a teacher who would come from Thessaloniki in the summer to teach her French and violin.
Really? Wow.
And this is like the Greeks, even back then, even when they were poor, they had this thirst for education, for culture. So can you imagine among the tobacco fields, someone to play the violin
It's amazing.
It's a great image.
You touched on World War II. Was your grandfather involved in the war or your father?
No, my grandfather, the one we're talking about,
Sure.
Actually both my grandfathers, in a very different ways they were involved. So the doctor, the guy on the white horse, during the occupation, he was in a village close to the mountains. So every night the rebels, the resistance, would come down, and then he would take care of them when they were injured or something.
All right.
Because he was a doctor and because he was pro-resistance anyway. So then someone told the Germans, they went to arrest him. He jumped over the window and then he went to join the rebels for a year at least. So then he came back after the war. The state was hunting him because he was a communist. Eventually he was exiled. He ended up in Makronissos. Everyone in Greece knows it's an island that communists were re-educated.
Wow.
In a very wild ways. That's a part of the Greek history that we're not very proud of. But yeah, it's there.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
it's
more
a tumultuous
importantly,
time.
he survived.
Yeah.
He came.
So actually, to go back to the story with my grandmother, they were engaged in late 30s, and eventually they got married in 1952.
So because the Greek Civil War ended in 49 and then Greece was a mess, a couple of years after that.
And I'll tell you something now. Haven't told many people. I know the story of my grandmother, all the things that I told you, because a couple of years ago, it was Christmas. I was in France back then, so I visited my family for Christmas. And my grandmother, she was 93 years old.
Wow. Good
And then I went to spend some, quality time with her.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We're foodies at heart at Uzo Talk, which is why we love the Greek providor. Get a real taste of the very best produce that Greece has to offer. From olive oils and delicious artisan sweets, to earthy herbs, memorable wines, warming spirits and more, all made by passionate, independent farmers and producers from across Greece.
So whether you're looking to fill your pantry or buy a special gift for a loved one, the Greek Providore has you covered. Visit thegreekprovidore.com.au today and bring Greece home.
And I told her, Grandma, tell me about your young years. Well, what did you do as a child? How did you meet my grandfather? So she started telling her story with such clarity that I had it recorded in the iPhone. Brilliant. I just pushed and I had a recording of 1 hour of the whole story. And that was the last time I saw her.
Wow.
Because I left for Strasbourg, and 3 months later she fell. She broke her hip and she died 93 years old. The whole point of this story is it's never too late, but it's always, probably late. So don't waste time. If you have people that you want to hear things from them, listen to their stories, do it now, because you never know. There might not be a next time.
That's a great lesson. And I do that with my mum all the time. I got notes now. Every time I think of a question, I'll ask her and I'll type it in. But recording it is even better.
That's one of the things we've spoken about a lot on this podcast. Definitely do that. Everyone's got an iPhone now. Audio recording capabilities, video. Just get in front of them and get the story.
Because such amazing stories get lost. And we'll never hear them again. We'll never know what happens.
And it's our job to tell those stories. If we're not talking about it to our kids and remembering it, it just goes away, doesn't it?
Definitely, 100%.
And usually, I like to ask old people about their stories. Even now that I'm here, when I meet people, I start, where are you from? What happened? And I realized that all the people that lived in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, their stories, each one could be a series on Netflix.
100%.
They're amazing stories.
Yes.
These guys lived
resilient life.
Yeah.
What about so this was your paternal grandparents?
Maternal.
Oh, maternal.
Yeah.
What about your
The other
paternal?
one was a very wealthy, for the standards of the region, guy who had windmills to make flour.
Yep. Yeah.
That's also an interesting story, because the whole business that became huge in the 20s, the director was my grandmother.
Wow, okay.
Which had the entrepreneur instinct to, in the 20s, to bring, how do you call them, the machines that...
a ploughing machine?
Exactly, the ploughing machines from Germany. She imported them.
Wow.
Until then, they would do it manually. To harvest.
Harvesters. Okay, got it. So harvest the wheat and the crops.
Exactly.
Got it.
So she imported machines with motors.
Wow. And we're talking, 1920s? 1920.
Wow.
Yeah. Until then, they would get the same thing that death has. And they would cut the whole field manually. But they brought these little cars, the machines that would do the job.
Yep.
And so they became very wealthy by that.
Entrepreneurial streak in the family.
A woman in the Greek 20s. 1920s.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
So during the occupation, her sons, they had the business, and my grandfather, that I have his name, people were starving in the village, and they would go to him with all the jewelry they had to ask for some flour to survive the winter. And my grandfather was like, sure, yeah, you get they would give him a big sack of flour, which would last them the whole winter. And he would refuse the money, and he would say, no, you will give me in the future, no problem.
Wow.
These stories I've heard myself when I was a little kid from very young people. They would come to my father's store, and my father would say, this is George. You are George, the grandson of George the other? They would say, yes, and my child, let me tell you the story. So this is not what my parents told me. These are the stories I heard from
the local village,
from the ones that benefited from that.
Wow.
That's far more powerful, isn't it?
So in World War II, so if I'm correct, the Bulgarians looked after that. Were they, and from what I understand, they were confiscating a lot of that food and the resources. Did that impact your family at all in any way?
Actually, in Ceres, we have a big river in the middle of the region, and our side was on the western side, so we had Germans. On the other side of the river, they had Bulgarians. and people were escaping from the Bulgarian sector to come to the German one. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Wow. How harsh was it, the Bulgarian invasion? Because they were... Well, I'm a diplomat. I'm not allowed to say that. But
Well,
let's say they were...
Let me help you. Let me help you because...
We just talked about that in our last episode.
So Spiros Tsoubis, the historian, did mention the fact that the Bulgarian occupation
was the harshest
and the most brutal. And to say that in comparison to the Nazis, that's really saying something.
It's saying something.
Genuinely. So,
and he went on and explained why they were harsh and what they wanted to do, but really good episode if you haven't heard that.
So actually my one grandfather was like right-wing and the other one, the doctor, was left-wing.
Yeah.
But they were both very good people.
Yeah. There's no differentiation. You know, we're all different. You know, me and you are different, Tom. So
definitely.
There's no issue there. We're both good people. Fantastic. So, and what about yourself now? So where did you get educated?
I finished high school in Negrita, and then I went to Ioannina. We call them Yanina.
Great place.
Epirus.
Beautiful.
Great region.
Mountainous region in the northwest of Greece.
If you can't tell, Giorgos, this is his area.
Epirotis.
Yeah, that's right.
Very nice Tsipuro in Ioannina.
Yes, right. That's why I like him.
So I studied archaeology because that was my dream. I wanted to become an archaeologist. And I did. It took me a little while, 5 years. I took my time. Usually it's 4. But in Greece, you know, you don't have limits timetables. You enter the university, you finish whenever you want or can. So then I did some excavations.
Wow.
I liked the profession. It's magic, but it was so hard to have a career in archaeology in Greece because very few jobs, not well paid.
So you think there'd be a lot of jobs because Greece is literally sitting on archaeology.
Yeah, but nobody pays for archaeologists.
Because it's everywhere.
It's too common. Yeah, wow. And you had a stint in New York, from what I read.
Then again,
Syracuse?
I realized maybe I should turn to diplomacy as a plan B. That's a joke.
Okay, good. Plan B.
But it is a bit of a stretch to go from archaeology to diplomacy. How did that happen?
Not that much, because my interest in archaeology was about understanding how people felt and lived in antiquity. What was their everyday life? What was their beliefs? How they loved? They eat? Everything. It's about understanding a society, a culture, and of course, then in ancient Greece, you have Thucydides, which in English is Thucydides, who is still considered as one of the great, actually the father of history, internationally speaking, and the father of realism, which is one of the basic international relations theories right now. And that gives me, the opportunity to go to the next chapter, which is
very interesting.
I went to study in the United States, do a master's in international relations, and in the first class, the professor came and talked to us about Thucydides, because realism is a theory of international relations that is based on power. In brief, it says that, the relations between states and countries are based basically on power. Ancient Greece had a lot of politics and history. It's like an international relations manual. This same interest I could serve very well through diplomacy as well. My interest for understanding cultures, international relations and stuff like that.
Wow. Fantastic.
Did you know any of that, Nick?
No, not at all.
We learnt something today.
I think me and you are calculating, okay, when can we get him on the show again, talk about this?
That's a case study in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That sounds fascinating.
Will you allow me to give you an example of what realism is?
Yes.
So,
please.
In the Peloponnesian War, the Athenians, who are you can imagine it's like the Cold War between the Soviet Union and the US. So the Athenians, they go to an island of Milos. Milos is an island in the Cyclades.
Near Santorini, I think.
Yeah, next to Santorini. Yeah. So they go to the Melians, who were independent. Every little island was independent in ancient Greece. And they went with their whole fleet. It's like the Star Wars.
Wow.
The Imperial
fleet.
I love the analogy.
They had 200 ships and the others had 10. Something like that.
So what are we talking? What era? 400
that
BC?
Is 420.
420
like
BC.
That.
Okay.
Yeah. So they go there and they said to the Emilians, you need to join us or we'll kill you all. But the Emilians said, we are neutral. We are traders. We don't hurt anyone. Let us live in peace. And the Athenians say, no, we are stronger. We can annihilate you. Either you'll join us or we'll kill you all. Thucydides describes this debate. Before the war, a delegation went there and they had this discussion. The Athenians said, we don't care about what's fair and what is right. We are more powerful. So either you will submit or we'll destroy you. And eventually the Emilians said no. And the Athenians destroyed them.
Wow.
So it has become in the academia, in universities, this is one of the most famous examples of realism. Like, I don't care about what's fair, what's not. I'm powerful. I do whatever I want.
I've never heard that case study before, that story.
Yeah, I'm blown away.
The look on your face right now, Nick.
I love all this. You know I love my history. I love all this stuff. Wow, I didn't know about that story. Yeah. Look, we should change a little bit of a tact. We'll get into what your current role is and so forth. Yeah. But before we get there, what's your favourite football team?
Oh, God.
It's a tradition we have on here.
Yeah, sure. Well, before I tell you what my favorite football team is, I will tell you how it happened that I support.
Better.
Yeah. So I told you before that I moved when I was 9 years old to this new village. Boys were rough back there, all farmers' sons, very strong, not very kind, let's say. So I was a new kid, even worse, like coming from the city.
Yeah.
You understand? So at some point, I find myself in an alley surrounded by 3 or 4 taller guys. That were probably, I was here, I would be year 3 or 4, and they were 6 or 7, you know how different that can be. And they approach me in a really like aggressive way, and they point the finger and say, what team do you support? And I'm frozen. I'm like, I need to choose correctly. And I said, PAOK. He said, oh yeah, my brother, give me 5.
Wow.
So PAOK saved my life when I was really young. And since then, I'm PAOK.
Were
we
you
have
PAOK,
one.
or you didn't care back then? Did you have a team beforehand?
No, I didn't. I was too young.
You didn't know. So you just said PAOK.
I was virgin. So then I became PAOK.
Okay, how good was that? So I can see why you like PAOK so much now.
PAOK is a force.
Saved your life.
Well, I'm glad that we have one finally. We had Zagorakis sitting in that chair. It was a big moment for me. I don't think it was as big for you in that respect. But
huge. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well done. All right. So that's good. I guess none of our listeners would go. They're all PAOKs. Everyone sort of likes PAOK, don't they?
You have never lived until you've spent a night at Tuba.
Really?
Yeah. It is an unbelievable experience, isn't it?
I went there once in Tuba. And back in the 90s, they were all dancing. You could see like 40,000 people dancing the rain dance.
Yeah.
Something like an Indian, Pondian version of a Saman dance. And they were like dancing like this. It was very like misty, mesmerizing.
Yeah, wow.
To see like they were jumping. And after like 20 minutes, it started raining.
Yeah.
I was like, it works. Shouldn't. There was no roof on top of the stadium.
Yeah. So it's a thing. So it is a thing called the rain dance.
They would call it the rain dance.
Okay.
But actually it worked. It wasn't supposed to.
We
were all like very
soaked.
Exactly.
Wow.
Very wet.
I'm not sure if I've told this story on the podcast before, but in 2015, I went to watch PAOK play, I think it was at Romitos at Tuba.
Sure.
And it was -8 degrees.
Yeah.
-8 degrees, and everyone behind the goal had shirts off.
Really?
Shirts off.
So where is Tumba?
Tumba, Thessaloniki. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the name of a suburb as well. So
yep.
Shirts off, the steam rising everywhere, Retsina in one hand, Souvlaki in the other. It was
another stuff that we're not supposed to mention.
I wasn't going to mention that, but yeah.
Good stuff.
We should probably move on.
Yeah, we will.
So actually, sorry. I have to tell you about the United States because I went there. I had the Kalymnian part of my family. They had moved to New York. So when I went there, I realized I had 80 cousins in New York.
Wow.
Kidding.
Yeah.
We have listeners from Queens and
good.
New York, so they're probably listening to this.
Hello, cousins. So I went there in August 2001. Think about it.
2001.
And they're telling me, "Oh, George, let me take you sightseeing in Manhattan. Let's go to the Twin Towers." And I'm like, "Oh, come on. I'm going to stay here for 2 years. I'm going to go to the Twin Towers. Blah, blah, blah. Let's do something else." And that was August 2001.
Wow.
I never saw the Twin Towers.
Wow.
Because 1 month later, they fell.
Wow.
And
Crazy.
another lesson, don't you postpone anything.
Yes.
You never know what's going to happen.
Act now.
Wow.
Don't wait. Don't
Yeah.
hold off.
Yeah, so I never saw
wow.
them.
There you go.
Far out.
Crazy story.
Sorry, guys, I've hijacked the...
No,
the
not
show
at all.
a little
Mate,
bit.
this is interesting.
This is the way
stuff.
this show goes.
Okay.
The whole idea is butt out. We're going to sit around, drink, tell stories. So we like
You
it.
should know that diplomats talk a lot.
We love it.
We love our voice, you know.
Perfect. Because me and Tom drink a lot. So you
Okay,
can do
good.
the talking, we'll drink.
We're just pouring now, so
Yeah.
we've moved on to the 35N, the purple one.
Oh,
So
that's a good one.
So
too.
anyway, after my New York years, I went back to Greece. I did my military service, and then I joined the diplomatic service.
Mm-hmm.
And my first posting was in Nigeria,
Wow.
Abuja,
Abuja.
which is...
So there's Greeks there.
There are not many Greeks in Nigeria, but someone has to be there. And we also have shipping.
Were you a consul general or an ambassador?
I was kind of deputy ambassador and consul general. Actually, at some point, I was a one-man embassy or something.
Okay, one-man band.
Yeah.
a one-man embassy, huh?
A one-man embassy. I was responsible for Nigeria plus 12 more countries in West Africa.
So how many Greeks are there?
No, like in Nigeria, 300. But basically, my job there was not to deal with the Greeks mainly, but to deal with the Nigerians and the people from the other 12 countries that wanted a visa to go to Greece. So I interviewed 3,000 Nigerians, Ghanaians, people from Cote d'Ivoire and many other countries.
Wow.
Personally, to decide whether they should get a visa to go to Europe, because it was Europe, so it wouldn't be Greece. And that was a huge experience, like to have someone in front of you who's trying to prove to you that he wants to go to Greece to do trade, or he's a businessman. And
So that was your main role, to see
Yeah.
if they could get a
Yeah.
visa in.
Yeah.
And did the local Greek population, where were they? Were they Cretans? Where were they from? Or sort of mix?
You know, there were so few that they didn't have the community attitude. It was not important where they were from. It was totally different than here.
Okay, so they had no church or no sort of connection.
No. They were businessmen. Some families had been there since like the 50s or the 60s, but they didn't have a community like people have here, because we're talking about 300 people in a huge country. Nigeria has now 200 million population, so 300 people.
You touched on your military service. Where did you serve that in?
I did the Navy service.
Oh, Navy.
Actually, my dream, I had many dreams, generally speaking. I'm a dreamer. So another dream was to serve in a ship, in a battleship. I had read Thucydides, the Peloponnesian War, with all the naval battles and
Salamis, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Salamis, exactly. So I want to be in a battleship. So I joined the Navy, and they told us, guys, you're very lucky. 3 months ago, a new law passed, and no ordinary guys like you cannot go to the battleship. It will only be professional people. And I was like, damn, why? I want to go. I was 27, 28 years old. I had my master's from the US. They said, we will help you with your career. Like, we will really put you in positions that will be useful for you according to your studies. They were asking us, what kind of studies have you done? We were showing them, I was like master's international relations, peacekeeping operations and stuff like that. And then they decided I should become a driver of trucks, like a truck driver.
Bit of an anticlimax.
Oh,
huh?
wow.
So
you didn't get to go on the battleships.
They could have made you a cook. Could have been worse.
exactly. According to my skills,
Truck driver.
truck driver. But I really love driving, so I learned how to drive buses, trucks, like all the big
tanks?
things. Tanks, no. They're not.
Okay.
Navy, Nick, come on.
Navy. So you drove troops around or
Troops, I actually
missiles,
had
maybe?
I had this truck that carries fuel, and I would get fuel from the ships in the port, and I would go up to the mountains to the little observatory things we have where we can overlook the sea, and I would give them fuel so that they would be warm, which was a challenging task because the roads up there on the mountains, they were very really narrow for a truck. But it was okay. It was nice.
Interesting.
Okay. So you became a good driver, around the bends in winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what towns were you in?
That was in Lesbos, in the island of Lesbos.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Well, I think we should start sort of moving on to where we find ourselves today, because all of this has obviously helped you eventually arrive at this position in Sydney. First of all, how does it actually feel for you to be serving in a country that, number one, has such a strong Greek diaspora, but in Sydney in particular as well? I mean, you've had a bit of a taste now. You've had your feet under the desk for a few months, I think it is.
2 months and a half, a little bit more.
How has it been so far?
Well, it was another dream of mine. I told you I had many dreams. So since I was 20-something, I wanted to come to live in Australia for some reason. I chose it. Like at some point, they asked me where you want to go. I was in Athens, and I said, "Can I go to Australia?" They were like, "Yeah, done."
Really?
Yeah.
That quickly? So no one wants to come.
Yeah,
It's the flight, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like,
really, for the Greeks, it's like so far away, and I'm like, so what? You get into a plane, you get out of a plane.
Yeah, that's it.
It doesn't matter how many hours you stay
But it's
there.
24 hours.
This is what I don't understand, though. Like, it's not the moon.
No, like if you are in England, for example, you not get a car and drive back to Greece for the weekend. So what's the difference? But anyway, I chose that, and I feel very nice about it. I think I've met Australians throughout my life. They were all very nice people, very outgoing, relaxed, laid-back people. I think that our Mediterranean temperament really fits the situation here. And I can see that the Australians have very nice food, which probably is thanks to the Greeks and maybe the Italians.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That's one thing we have to say about this country, and we've said it many times on this show.
Yeah.
Now, as opposed to back in the 50s, 60s, 70s and whatnot, the quality of the food here and the choice, we actually miss it when we go back to Greece. As good as the food is there, you can't get the diversity that
it's
we
the
get
variety.
here. The variety, that's,
So we got the best of Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese, French, Italian, Greek, Lebanese, we got the best of everything.
But Greece has the best Greek. Let's just put that,
I don't think we get, or maybe what's your opinion of the Greek food here compared to Greece? Are we getting there?
The best Greek is in Greece.
Yeah,
correct.
And it's probably about the ingredients.
Are we getting close?
Yes.
No.
I haven't been to many Greek restaurants because the first month and a half, I just wanted to taste what is now local. And I realized there's only one menu that is Australian. It's surf and turf.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Shrimps for an entree, and then you get the steak.
Yeah.
Which I like very much. So it took me a while to try to taste other things. Yeah. Now I start to go to Greek places. I don't think that outside of Greece you can get the same quality. It has to do with the ingredients. It's not the fault of the people here, and
it's probably the way it's grown, the meat. Yeah. I think we've talked about the lamb and so forth.
The lamb, the most obvious thing is the tomato.
But even, for example, I really like fish and I like sardines, for example. So I went the other day to a Greek restaurant and I saw sardines on the menu and I was like, yeah. So I ordered, and then when they came and I tasted them, I realized these are not Mediterranean sardines. They had the same problem in France, where I spent 6 years. Sardines from the Atlantic, awful. Yeah. Sardines from the Mediterranean, blessing. And here the sardines are also sardines of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried really hard.
I'm with you on that. Yeah. I love a sardella, but
it's the ingredients. Yeah.
What was your first impressions of the Greeks in the diaspora when you came in? Were you surprised? Were you shocked? Was this what you expected?
I was surprised by a couple of. I didn't know that people had migrated here that early, even the late 19th century.
Yeah,
that's really impressive.
Yeah, 1812 1920s, I think it was, from Ivra. We had 7...
They didn't come here by choice, Nicholas.
No, they did. Yeah, but have we talked about the story before? I think we have on the podcast.
Yeah, we have.
No, tell me about that, because someone gave me the idea, and I think about it, to try to have a statue or a monument for the first Greek.
Yep.
It's a great idea.
Some say he was a pirate, some say he was a...
So it was around the 1820s, 26, and as you know, Greece was fighting for their independence.
Yeah.
So there were 7 sailors on a boat, and they intercepted a British ship that was selling weapons to the Egyptians, which were going to fight against the Greeks. So they intercepted that boat, and then the Brits caught up with them, I think in Crete or some other island.
Someone told me Malta, but...
Oh, Malta, yeah, maybe. I think that's where they intercepted the boat. Yeah, don't quote me. We'll have to check it. But
Panayotti knows this story well.
Yeah, definitely. And 100%. So they got caught. I think they were sentenced to death, but then somehow it changed and they said, no, you're going to get deported to Australia.
Which is worse.
Yeah.
At the time.
At the time.
Yeah. But we believe 5 of them went back and 2 stayed.
Yes.
So the one that stayed ended up having like a dozen kids, and he's buried in Picton.
Yes.
And our mate, John Lucadellis, has a thing every year from Canberra.
He does.
They go on his birthday or something like that, and they go and they do a memorial, have a little minibus with Greeks, and they touch up his tomb and all that sort of stuff.
So maybe we could do something about that.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. There's a very strong Greek connection here. You know, we've spoken about the names like Valentina Roma as well, and there's a lot of strong connections to Greece. But anyway, we've spoken about the fact that you've now been here for a couple of months. We've got your first impressions. Sorry, go on. Yep.
No, I was saying that I was surprised by a couple of things. So I said only about how old some Greeks are here. The second thing is the love I received when I got here. And as diplomats, you know, we're not used to be the front man. We usually are backstage. But then I kept reminding myself that, you know, that's not about you. Like George is about the position, it's about the flag, it's about the state, like the love that people give you. I should not really take it personally. I think that's very useful for me keeping my balance. You know, sometimes in life you might get an experience like that. I might be 3 years here and, you know, be this very popular person and very... but then I will go somewhere else and I will be invisible. And...
you're going to be very visible here.
Yeah, exactly. So
get used to doing speeches because everyone's going to want a piece of you.
Yeah, speeches. Fortunately, I like giving speeches, so it's not a problem.
And I've heard a few of them. You're actually very funny.
Actually, yeah.
That's right. Actually, I realized that actually the only way for people to give you their attention to, you know, is when you're funny.
Yeah.
If you start being very formal and read the text, and nobody...
it's true.
Yeah. Classic. Yeah, I was there at the Greek Film Festival,
yes.
and you ripped out your parking ticket instead of your speech.
Was that on purpose?
That was on purpose, but I did it like 10 minutes before. I said, okay, maybe I need to take a look at what my speech says. And instead of getting the speech, I got the parking ticket. So I'm like, this is funny. I'm going to do it again.
And then great. I heard you again on the Ohi Day in the city, the lunch we had, and you're having a go at the host, Peter Raptus. Yeah. He started to read. He wasn't a big fan of ChatGPT, and he goes, I've typed that up on ChatGPT, and then you scream out, like, hey, that's my speech.
Yeah,
so, like that sound?
That's a great sound. So you've settled in now. So what would say, I know it's only early days for you, but what would be, say, your top 3? What are your biggest challenges thus far?
Now we're getting into the serious stuff, right?
We are. That's why we're drinking more.
Yeah. It had to come eventually.
Yeah. So I have other stories to tell you, you know.
You know what? Whenever you want.
No, I'm joking. Well, I have many stories.
We can go all night if you want.
So, first of all, I need to maintain this level of services that we provide. Mm-hmm. I know there are like delays and people complain, not all of them. Yannis, my predecessor, he did an amazing job. He was a great guy and a great diplomat. Actually, during his days, when he took over, things were not that good. Actually, he managed to hire extra staff. But that happened early this year, so the change, he didn't probably got credit for the progress,
which we did know he was working on from day one.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Like he did the job, and I'm enjoying the benefit. So
it's all right. Have another Tsipro now.
Yeah, he gave over to me a consulate with a great team that works relatively well, and I say relatively because we need even more staff. But we have reached a limit, and I need to find new ways to bring staff here.
Yes,
which should be through the increase in salaries that we're expecting to happen next year. The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Loverdos, that visited Sydney in October, he expressed his commitment to do that. But then it will take time, because first you need to have the raise in salaries, so people are tempted to apply to come to Sydney. That might take a year from now. By then, at least I need to keep the team as it is now, working well. That's my first challenge. The second, it's not actually a challenge, but next year, 2026, we will celebrate the 100 years of the consulate in Sydney, which for the first 30 years until the 50s, it was also the embassy of Greece in Australia. There was nothing else. And Canberra was still under construction. I'm preparing to do some stuff, not the usual stuff. I don't want to do dances with Tamiko or bring Konstantinos Argyros. He comes anyway. He doesn't need me. Yeah.
I like where this is going, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I said I need to do something to bring to the Greeks here what Greece is right now, apart from the mainstream culture, because the Greeks here know what is hardcore mainstream culture. For example, I had a talk the other day with some people, and they asked me, what kind of Greek music do you listen? And I'm like, well, kind of more like alternative. And they were like, alternative, like Parios? Like, no, something more alternative. Well, maybe Zouganelli. I don't know if you know.
I do.
Yeah.
It's a joke for the Greeks in Greece. If you think that these guys are alternative is like being in the US and Konstantinos Argyros is Taylor Swift, and you think that alternative is Lady Gaga, for example.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that we need to bring this other Greece here in Sydney, and I want to aim to the younger generation, because we have this problem that we all talk about is the language. But we've been young. Well, you might still be. I don't know.
Thank you, Giorgos.
Yeah. Young people do whatever they like. So if you want to get into the world, you need to come with gifts that they like. So I was thinking of bringing some YouTubers, podcasters.
Wow.
And we can do things together if you want.
Amazing.
We're in.
That are very popular in Greece, and we'll visit schools and universities, and then eventually we'll do a show with them. They're all comedians as well, like stand-up comedy.
Fantastic.
If the younger generation start following them, they will have to get used to the Greek language. And then from them, they can start following other Greek YouTubers and podcasters. And they will use the Greek for something they like.
That's a great idea.
So good.
And this is fantastic, because one of the things that Yanni was talking about from day one while we were here, and I was in one of these meetings early on, the majority of what we have here in the diaspora and in Australia and in the US in particular, it all sort of revolves around chorus and all of that sort of stuff. And Yanni had a very clear understanding that if this is the way that this is going to continue, our communities are going to die a slow and painful death.
It's a bit outdated.
Is that the way you see it as well?
I realize that there are probably the majority of the Greek Australians are not involved into the community things. We need to get them on board somehow. Probably they're not involved because they have other interests. They have other tastes. I don't know. But yeah, I think that first the Greek Australians need to see what Greece has been producing all these years as a culture, and that has been evolved and is far away now from Tsamiko and Kalamatiano. We have theater, we have music, we have it's a culture. For example, since the Zeros, we have this new music which is a combination of traditional music but with modern elements. Extremely popular amongst the young people in Greece, which I will tell you names, but you will probably not know them. It's Thanasis Papakonstantinou, Sokratis Malamas. I don't know if we're supposed to do some sociological analysis about Greece, but during the dictatorship in Greece, the junta, as we call it, so the dictators who really had really bad taste in arts and culture, they used to do these the celebrations in the Panathinaikos Stadio with ancient very traditional things. So in the minds of modern Greeks, everything that had to do with traditional songs and stuff, they were linked to the dictators. So during what we call the metapolitevsi, which is the democracy that followed after the fall of the dictatorship, which is the 75 and on. So the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, all the progressive people, let's say, all the democratic people, they would really detest anything that had to do with tradition. And then in the Zeros, 30 years later, there is this new wave of artists that create music that have many traditional elements from traditional music, but they're also mixed with modern elements. And suddenly, there's this eruption of love from the young people for this kind of music. And it's been 25 years now. We have these artists, for example, Thanasis Papakonstantinou and Sokratis Malamas. If you go to a concert of them, it's like a feast. It's like you have fires, you have all young people, 20, they have bottles of Tsipuro with them and they spread it in the air or whatever.
This is a new culture.
It's a new culture of young people, very modern people, that love this music, which is Greek, traditional and modern at the same time. And this is a very nice thing because that means that our tradition will not die, but it evolves.
Yes. It's what we've spoken about.
I love the way you just explained that. I never thought of it like that.
But it's what we've spoken about for so many years as well. Like the generation that came out here, let's say in the 50s and 60s and whatnot, the way that they left, they've sought to uphold the traditions that they had when they left. And they've never moved on from that. And in the meantime, and again, we'll quote Yanni because you keep using this example between each other. When people ask, would ask Yanni, what sort of music did you listen to? He'd say Pink Floyd. Yeah. As opposed to...
Me too, actually. Yeah. They're my favorite.
I'm with you on that. But the culture and the tastes have moved on. Yeah. And in many ways, we haven't.
No. And it's normal, but we can change that.
Yes.
But I like what you said before, like the people that go to Choros and all that, you've already captured them. There's the silent majority that you haven't captured, and that's a fantastic way of dragging them in. Like my kids, for example, they don't go to Choros and all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to teach them the language, but stuff like this they can relate to, mate. That's the best way to capture them.
Yeah.
Mate.
For example, I have booked them, but I don't have the financing yet, but I'll get it. There is a guy who tells stories about ancient Greece. He's an archaeologist himself in a very, very funny way. And he's a very popular YouTuber in Greece. Has 100,000 followers, something like that. For Greece, that's a lot. There is another one who does the same with science, for example. And I will also create a team. I will match these guys with some Greek Australian YouTubers and comedians that I found. They are preparing this at this moment that we're speaking, and I think it will be a great show.
That's a great idea.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's what we need.
That is exactly what we need.
Yeah, 100%. Because you're right, it is dying. And how many people can go to a choro and hear all that sort of... That's dying.
Well, it's giving the wrong message off, really. Because, again, not only have the Greeks over there evolved, we've evolved as well.
Yeah.
It's great to have the traditions. It's great to have the cultures. It's great to have all the, the traditional approach to it. But What are we, to George Columbaris' point, what are we doing now?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you give me a great pass now, because at first I was thinking, okay, how am I going to bring these guys here closer to the modern Greek culture? But then I really thought about it, and I said, actually, I don't have to, because they have developed their own identity. Think about it. The Americans or the Australians, they left the UK. They were British when they left. And in 50, 100 years, they became something else. They're Australians, they're Americans.
Sure, good example.
So, I mean, we don't need to patronize you, of course. You guys are something different from us.
Correct.
And we both need to accept this.
Yeah.
But the nice things we have, we can share.
Correct.
Right?
100%.
And we have very good things in Greece right now that you don't know of. You know, you're not aware of. For example, these artists that I'm talking about, this music is totally unknown in Australia. It's a pity, because there is, for example, Marina Sati, which is a huge star in Greece. She went to the Eurovision. Most Greek Australians, they don't know her. And
Did she come out recently?
No,
she hasn't been
She
here
hasn't
yet.
been
She
here.
wasn't in Melbourne?
Well, I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure,
that's okay.
but I think she
Yeah, go on.
she is, listen to that. Her father is from Sudan, and her mother is from Crete. And she went to Harvard and studied music production. She's a genius and a very nice girl. And so she's in Greece. If you go to her concert, you will listen to traditional music from Bulgaria, from Asia Minor, from Greece, from Crete. She takes music from these regions, and she can have a version of this music as like R&B or electronic, and there's a fusion of all these elements, and people love her.
Yeah, she's pushing the boundaries of these genres. That's
And
what
this
we
is
need.
the future.
Correct.
See, I heard all that when I was in Greece recently.
Yeah.
I was in Monasteraki, one of the bars. There's a song called To Fegari Kani Kiklo.
Ah, yes.
Is that an Ipirotiko
This
song?
is a traditional song, but you probably listen to it in a modern version.
Yes, it was. I went to the DJ. I go, what is this song called? And I found it
It
on
can be a
Spotify.
house version of a traditional. Imagine like a tsamiko or something in a house version, or all the modern stuff.
Play it for you guys later. It's on my playlist, and there was a couple of them, and I was blown away. I go, wow, what is this music? It's like a beautiful blend of, because my parents used to listen to that, you know, Clarino, To Fegari Kani Kiklo, all that sort of stuff. I used to block my ears when I was a kid.
For example, the girl Klavdia that we sent to the Eurovision this year, she's of Pondian background, and she wrote a song that could be a Pondian traditional song, but you can listen to it in a house version. It's amazing.
Yeah.
See, this is what's not spoken about enough, and what's not well known enough about around our communities. You know, we've got a role to play in this.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And there's a couple of good DJs out there. They do that. They blend the old classic music into a new modern feel, like house, like you just described.
But it doesn't just stop there. It's things like, again, to quote George Columbaris as well, some of the best bartenders in the world are in Greece. And you say bartender, like, is that high culture? But it is in some way, right? Like, we've got great people and really creative people, which we can draw inspiration from. And right now, I don't feel like we've tapped that yet in this country, for Greek Australians anyway.
Yeah, bartenders, baristas. I think we're better than the Italians right now at it.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're going to piss a lot of people off with that, but we know about coffee. Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah.
With food, I think the same with the cuisine, the Greek now, they create this fusion. Probably George Columbaris knows better about that, but like a fusion Greek cuisine with other elements. So many things are happening in Athens right now, mainly.
Fantastic. Because I've got a lot of Anglo friends that go to Greece. You know, when I was growing up, they detested Greek, and they used to call us names and stuff. Now they're going to Greece and they're coming back and then they're blown away. I said, what is it? What is it you like about it? And a lot of them say it's the customer service. It's the people that make it really good.
Absolutely.
And and I had a look at the tourism figures as well. I had a quick look just then. 24.9 million people have been in Greece already in the 8th month of this year.
Wow.
So that's, we may break a record. I don't know if you got any stats on that. But.
No, I don't have stats, but it's our heavy industry. What has happened the last years, less than 10 years, is that Athens and the mainland also attract a lot of tourists, and all around the year. 10 or 15 years ago, nobody would stay in Athens. They would just land and take the boat to go to an island. Now in Athens, all around the year, the center is full of tourists, which is good for the economy, a little bit bad for the locals, because the locals gradually start to abandon the center and move out to the suburbs. Life is becoming more expensive. But it's what we have. I mean, it's our heavy industry, so we need to make money somehow.
Absolutely.
Look, I rave about Athens, and my friend I caught up with today, he goes, he's got to go back. He goes, Athens, there's something happening in Athens. There's a soul about it.
Yep.
But who was that YouTuber that we talked about that raved about it?
Oh, Abby Chatfield.
Abby Chatfield,
yes,
couldn't stop raving about Athens.
Yep.
And she said on the podcast, she goes, anyone who bags Athens has got no idea. They've never been there.
Yep.
She says, I love Athens, is what she said.
Yep. And go in winter. Winter in Greece is a completely different story.
Yeah.
And it is unbelievable. I didn't know the meaning of Athens until I went in winter.
Well, my friend got back in October now, and I go, was it busy? He goes, Nick, it was packed. People everywhere. It's crazy.
Well, as northerners from Greece, we make jokes of the Athenian winter. I mean, this is not a winter. This is a joke.
That's true.
Like the minimum temperature is like 10 degrees Celsius. So, come on, guys. It's not.
Well, let's talk about Thessaloniki, because Thessaloniki in winter is also beautiful. I mean, to walk down by the water there and then go to a taverna there and then go to the Bouzoukia or whatever it is, mate. Sfagir.
Lavadica.
Yes, of course.
But we also have the mountains. We have amazing mountains in Greece, and people are, discovering them gradually.
Definitely. I was there this year, the Zahori region, amazing. Here on the river, beautiful. I love that place. And also there's other things happening as well, like the Ellenikon there's a massive project, which is the biggest in Greece.
It will be the Barangaroo of Athens.
Barangaroo?
I'm sure it'll be bigger.
I don't know. It will be bigger, definitely. No, it's a big project. At some point we realized in Greece that we have this Riviera, like it's a coastal front of, I don't know how many, 30, 40 kilometers in Athens. And it was like useless. There was nothing there.
We had an airport on it.
Yeah, we had exactly.
With an old Olympic Airlines plane.
Yeah.
So like
3 of them.
Everything in Greece, it took us some time to get going, but now it's full on. And I think they're building a tower right in front of the sea with residences, and that's already sold out, I think.
Wow. So is this the golden visa that's helped that?
No, the golden visa became popular during the crisis where we're in desperate need of cash. So we thought of, giving visas to those who would buy a property of at least 200,000, 250,000 euros, which was a good idea for that time being.
I understand it's gone up now.
It's like gradually it has gone up. Now it's in Athens, it's 800,000. Well, it helped. Many people bought from like outside the European Union. Like we had Russians, Turks, Israelis, Arabs, and Chinese.
Is that the order of hierarchy?
No, random.
Oh, randomly. Okay.
Randomly.
What about Australia? Do you get many Anglo-Australians?
Not really.
Okay.
Comparing to the others, I mean.
I understand a lot of Americans, Greek Australians were buying into the Ellenikon as well.
Well, that's good. It's going to be an amazing place.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. They've taken their time, but they're going to get it right. I think that's the good thing. They haven't rushed anything through, which is a good thing.
It's going to be a place with residencies, with malls, with shopping, restaurants, everything. And the sea.
I did a tour this year with my cousin. He lives in Glyfada. And the old aeroplane that you had sitting on the runway, they never destroyed it. So it's
the
actually
Olympic Eagle.
Yes.
Which I flew.
Oh, really?
At least twice.
Yeah. And I saw it. And they've got it behind a wall, but they're going to use it somehow in the complex.
I think it's been moved. At least 2 of the aircraft have been moved. So there's I can't remember which one
they're going to incorporate it in the Ellenikon project.
Yeah.
It might be in a park or something like that.
That's what they've done with at least one of them.
Yeah. So how good is that? Some remnants of it.
Absolutely.
But remember the old tank they had as well?
I don't remember the tank.
There was an old tank with big wheels in the Olympiacos when you landed in the old airport. So I don't know what's happened to that. But
as long as the big Olympic sign, on the road in Glifada is still there, that's fine.
Exactly. So has anything changed with past? Look, I know me and you know the story, but I guess for the purpose of our listeners who are listening for the first time.
This is what people want to know about.
Yeah. So what does it take to get a Greek passport? Look, we've already discussed it, but has there been any changes in the last 3 years? Or maybe just elaborate.
No, I'm glad that you're asking me this, because since I set my foot here, people are asking me, I want to get a passport. And I realized there's a bit misunderstanding. In order to have a passport, you need to have the citizenship. You need to be registered. If you are registered, you can get a passport in 2 months maximum. It's the easiest thing in the world. What is hard is to be registered, because we need to find who was your relative who was last registered in Greece. And most of the cases, that is your grandfather. And your grandfather was registered in a place that sometimes it was not even Greece, as it is the case of the Dodecanese. I've said many times that if we had the regular flow of births and deaths and marriages, we would do that in a day. What creates the delay is that suddenly, the last 5-10 years, many Greek Australians decided to have the citizenship, which is a very good thing, and we want it, and we are grateful. But then we need to dig up like many generations, and then we cannot register 3 generations at once. So we need to find the grandfather who was registered in Kythira, and then to register his marriage that happened 70 years ago, and the birth of his children, and then the marriage of his children, and then the birth of the grandchildren. And imagine if there have been divorces and second marriages and blah, blah, blah.
Name changes.
And name changes, that's another problem, because people come to us and they say, okay, the grandfather was registered in Kythira. And we ask, what name? And they're like, we don't know. We know him as Greek Papas, Greece Papas. That could be Chrysanthos Papasimakopoulos.
Well, the name is Peters, for example. It's a common name, because you shorten their name.
So you're conducting effectively archaeology on that work.
So my staff...
that's why they've hired you. No.
Exactly. So my staff, instead of just getting into the system, which it's digital now, and just registering a birth that happened like a week ago or a month ago, they need to dig up and exactly like archaeologist and find, where is this grandfather? What was his name? And then each birth or marriage, we need to separate, to register separately. We need to wait for a response from Greece, from the municipality, that they have received our input and they have created his, family file, to get back to us to go to the next generation. So
it takes time.
It takes time, and
and how many people are working on this? I mean, you've got a small team.
No, I have 4 people working on this.
For how many people in Sydney now? We're talking hundreds of thousands.
We have registered around 50,000 people, and maybe there are 100,000 people more who are not registered.
Yes.
But we are trying to cover what hadn't happened for like 60, 70, 80 years. So we need to do all the registration that didn't happen in 80 years. We need to do it now.
And this is marriages, declarations of...
Marriages, births, deaths, divorces.
And it's good if they're alive, but sometimes they're not.
Exactly. So we don't know the names. They're not alive. We have the Castellorzo situation where the archives were burned. We have other areas that were not Greek.
Like Imvros, the island.
Yeah, Imvros. So we need to ask them to be patient. We do our best, but it is a shared responsibility situation, because they haven't done anything for like 60, 70, 80 years. In Greece right now, if you don't register the birth of your child within 90 days, you get a penalty, you pay. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to call the people and invite the people to register whatever happens to their family immediately. Like, you give birth, come and register your child. We give priority to that. You're not going to wait for years. We'll do that immediately.
So for someone like me, for example, so my wife, who was born in Greece, we have children. One of the first things that they need to do, at the same time that you're doing your paperwork for the, Australian birth certificates and whatnot, you need to organize something at the consulate.
Exactly.
To also declare their birth to
and
Greece.
For events that are current, we give priority. We're not going to wait long.
Because it's an easy fix.
No, because this is what you're supposed to do.
So that's the priority.
The other thing is extra. My staff is, of course, they have a great sense of humor. They said, we gave birth to a grandpa today. Because they registered a birth in 1960.
Wow.
And they register now.
Yeah.
No, that is not supposed to happen now. It should have happened 60 years ago.
Yeah, this is so valuable for people to do.
So, and we have the other thing. They told me, we didn't register our son's birth because we didn't know what will happen with the army.
And that's a common one.
Yeah, it's a common one.
I can talk firsthand about that.
Yeah, let me tell you that. We're not judging here, okay?
Yeah.
We're politically correct. But let me tell you what, they don't need to be afraid of the army thing. Why? For people who have lived in Australia most of their lives, we give them a military service deferment, which means they can go to Greece, business as usual, and they will not be caught or whatever. They have this deferment until they're 45, and then they get exempt forever.
It's a permanent residency certificate.
That's a permanent residency certificate, and they can visit Greece for up to 6 months every year. So for those who were born here and have lived in Australia, or they haven't lived in Greece for more than 6 months, it's the same. But if they want to go to serve in the army, they will serve for 3 months.
Which is nothing compared to
This is like basic training.
It's amazing opportunity to upload photos on Instagram. Girls like it. Come on, guys. I mean,
learn a few skills.
I call the people to register their sons and daughters, and they will not go to the army if they don't want to.
Beautiful.
Right? Yeah.
Great advice.
Perfect. Well, I had to go through.
Yeah. Well, you did do that quite recently, didn't you?
Yeah. We were planning a trip to Greece, and I forgot that I registered my kids as Greek citizens when they were like 1 and 3 years old. They're really young. I got my Greek passport, and they said, "You want to register your kids while you're here?" I said, "Sure." Did it. Forgot about it. Fast forward 20 years later, or 19 years later, we booked our trip to Greece in 2023, ready to go. Get a letter. Go, what's this?
Yeah.
It's in Greek. Translate. What? So this is my eldest. He got asked, he's got to report to a military barrack in Greece. So then I went through the Consul General. He said, "That's fine. Get your international movement record."
Exactly.
And he goes, "Bring your son's passport in, and then take it to the registry." And then I think it was a couple of days they did it.
No, I will tell you, apart from the registration of past events, everything is fast.
Yeah.
So if you, in your case, like,
I can vouch for it. It was really fast. For me, the issue was the Australian government.
I will tell you exactly. It takes 1 month, more or less, to get the international track movement record from the Australians.
Yeah.
If you come to us with this, we'll give you an appointment next week. You get the document immediately. It's done.
Yeah. That's what exactly happened to me. Same thing. The issue was the Australian government.
Yeah.
It took forever. And we had booked our tickets, accommodation, and I wanted this letter before I left. I went on LinkedIn. I found the Australian Immigration Minister, and I wrote her a message.
The Greek way.
Yeah, because
way.
I spoke to the lady on the phone. I need to talk to your supervisor. I said, I can't wait 1 month. I need it in 3 weeks. We're leaving, I booked accommodation. I can't take the risk of my son not coming back with us. He's got a job here and all that sort of stuff. And I said, nope, can't help you. I said, stuff you. So I went on LinkedIn, found the minister, sent beautiful,
this is
nice
very
message.
Greek.
Yeah.
Sent a message, and literally a couple of hours they responded.
Wow.
I said, I got it. I got the international movement record.
For military staff, we'll give you an appointment probably the same week or maybe in 2 weeks.
Spiros still there?
Petros. For power of attorney, the same. Everything is fast apart from past registration events, which makes some sense because we need to do a lot of digging.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that. So my kids have got passports now. It was all seamless. There was no issue because we had everything. My dad did the right thing, registered his wedding, he registered us kids, so it was easy for me and all of us. So I understand where the challenge is because we hear a lot about it, and I get sick of trying to explain it to people. I go, where are you from again? I go, okay, what's your papu's name? And you don't even know what papu's name is. Like,
no, it's understandable. I mean, these guys, when they came here in the 50s, the 60s, even before, I understand. I mean, if you get into their shoes, they probably didn't feel very well with the Greek state. I say they felt, and maybe they were right, that they were actually kicked out of Greece by the situation, by poverty, by the negligence of the authorities.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, I came here, I'm going to make my own life, go to hell.
I think it's even simpler than that, really, because if you talk about someone like my papu, or my grandparents and other like grandparents of friends, they just didn't know that this is what we need to do. And there's this automatic assumption, and this is a very common one, that when you baptize your child here, all the paperwork just goes over there and it's fine.
No.
And it's not the case. And people still think that.
Yeah.
Guys, it doesn't work that way. Listen to Giorgos. If you baptize your child, that is a separate process. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, right?
But it's not their fault because in the old days in Greece, this is what was happening. You would go to the church would send the paperwork to the municipality in the old days.
Yes.
When they left Greece. But no, even in Greece, it's not happening anymore.
But even then, like like my mum, for example, my mum's got 3 birthdays, just so you can.
There you go.
And she was born in the late 60s, right? This is a period in time where in Greece, your birthday would be the day that they would register you. I think it was. It wasn't necessarily even your birthday.
Yeah.
So there's issues with that too.
Yeah.
And one of the last examples of that, I'm not registered the same day I was born.
Yeah. See, another one.
Yeah, and I was born on the 31st of December.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my parents thought, well, we should register him the 1st of January so that he has a year less on his back.
That's good. Well, that's
my mum
smart.
was the same. Yeah. My mum was the same. My papu just changed the year.
Yeah.
So 1941, she's she's a bit young. She was in November. 1941, he goes, look, it's a bit young to send her to school. She'll be 4. I'll put 1940 so she can go the following year or something like that. Yeah. But
interesting.
Not anymore. But once I was in Nigeria, a guy came to me and I say, how old are you? And he's like, look at the passport. And he gives me 3 passports. And in every passport, he was born a different year. So he was born, the first one, 81, the second, 83, and 87. And all of them were valid. They were not fake.
Wow.
And my mind is blown up. And I'm like, what the hell is that? When are you actually born? So it doesn't matter, right? How did you do that?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? He said, look, I'm a footballer. So every time I would grow older, I needed to look young or to be young to get a better contract. So he would leave Europe, he would come to Nigeria, he would get a new passport with a different date of birth, a younger one, and go back to... So in Europe, he was always 22.
NRL players, take note. This is how you get an increase on your contract.
Yeah, wow. Look, I've got a question about the aftotita. So maybe explain to our listeners how you get it. But my question is, what's changed? There's a rule that's changing.
It took us a while. Now we issue new digital cards, ID cards that have a microchip on them. And we all need to change the old aftotita to the new one at some point. But that can only happen in Greece. We cannot do that in the consulate. So you need to do it when you are in Greece on holidays or something.
Perfect. Okay.
It's digital, so it can be read very easily.
Okay, because I did mine quite easy. Well, it took me a day. So I went in, gave him all the information, passport, Australian passport, Greek passport.
Although we did hear a very interesting story from one of our mutual friends.
Yes, we did.
It was a bit of an odyssey for him to get it, but we digress. Some people are having different experiences with this.
So if I don't get my digital one, so is there a time deadline where I need to get it?
I think next year, yeah.
Okay, so if you don't get it, you got to reapply again.
Nah, it's nothing serious. You just you need to apply from the start.
Yeah, okay.
It's as soon as if you have the passport, you don't really need.
Yeah, you don't need it. Okay.
Okay.
I had a question. We sort of jumped around. There's women now. They're allowed to volunteer to be in the army.
Nikos Dendias came out recently with a number of changes to, I don't know whether they're actually enforced yet or whatnot. One of them was, in fact, the lowering of the age limit from 45. I think he said something like 42 or something like that. And again, I'm not sure whether that's actually been
There is
enacted.
a new law, but I'm not sure it has passed yet. I think it's what he intends to do.
Proposals,
So, I think he will lower the 45 limit for the exemption, make it lower to 40, I think, something like that.
Yeah, 40 or 42, I can't remember.
But let's wait. I mean, in Greece, people announce things. Let's wait until the law is passed, and then we get the information
Once
directly
it's
from
factual.
Athens, and I will come here and I'll explain.
Yes.
It's not a law yet, so don't worry.
Okay. Well, okay. Another one of the big ones is plirexousia, so powers of attorney. Now, obviously, a lot of people have issues with property and whatnot in Greece. What is the process for actually getting a plirexousia done?
It's very simple. You send us an email. We'll give you an appointment in about a week or two. Petros is the guy who does that. He's a great guy. You will go there with probably your something like an ID. And it's simple. It's done the same day.
Okay, so really, it's sounding like the only thing that's really taking
Registration
time is citizenship,
Yeah.
and whatnot. So everything else is pretty swift.
Exactly. Registration, when there are generations missing, you have to find the link.
So the onus is on the people. They're us.
Yeah.
You got to get your grandparents' names, and if hopefully they're registered. If they're not, you got to go through all that process. So it makes perfect sense.
So, look, everything, we have this system that you need to send an email. You can call, we will answer the call, but we will also direct you towards sending an email again. But I'm very, strict on that with my staff. We need to pick up the phone and answer all emails. You can call, but still your job will be done if you send an email saying who you are, what you want, and your situation. And then my people will contact you and guide you because they have to understand what's the situation. Because as we said, when it comes to registration...
So they're problem solvers. They've got to find out what the issue is. They've got to ask a few questions. It makes sense. Perfect. Well, I hope listeners out there that answers some of your questions. So go easy on Giorgos if you see him in the streets. Okay. He's a good man.
Absolutely.
He looks good. He's got a little bit of grey hair.
Yeah.
We want to see what he looks like in 3 years' time.
We'll do a before and after shot, right?
Agree.
Yeah.
But look, let's be fair.
Look, in Game of Thrones, the grayer, the more gray your hair is, when you are a wizard, the higher level you get. It's a promotion.
Wow. So you become more wiser.
I will be the white wizard when
in 3 years' time.
I got to say, I don't mind a little bit of salt and pepper in the beard. I like it. I think it's a good look. But look, guys, let's be fair, because there is a bit of a misunderstanding, I think, that everything just takes a lot of time.
No.
That's not the case.
No.
If there's a broken link in this chain when it comes to citizenship, yeah, sure, you're probably going to have a bit of an issue that you're going to have to solve and, work with the guys at the consulate and possibly some family in Greece or something to sort this out. But by and large, it's pretty quick.
If we want to be fair, there is a black hole of requests that reached the consulate a couple of years ago, where we had some staffing problems, and some people might not have heard from us for a couple of years. So please, we apologize. It's better that if you haven't heard from us in a couple of months actually. In the cases of the people I mentioned now, it's been years. They should send the request again. Because
follow-up email.
Yeah, because a couple of years ago there was a serious staffing problems. There were, and we weren't people there back then were not able to follow on the requests. I hear some people saying, "Oh, I'm waiting for 3 or 4 years. If this is your case, send us the email again. We'll start over and we'll be much faster."
Fantastic.
Okay, so if you haven't heard within 2 months, send up a follow-up. So there's nothing abnormal out of that. That's what we do at work every day.
Absolutely.
I do that every day nearly. Hey, it's following up on the request, and that's normal.
But the big thing, guys, if you have your citizenship, you're born in Greece or whatever the case is, don't break this chain. Declare your births, your deaths, your marriages, whatever it is.
And don't worry, your boys will not go to the army if they don't want to.
Fantastic. Yeah. Giorgos, thank you so much for coming. We're so proud to have had you with us and to be able to share a drink and a conversation with you. We can't wait to see. I mean, the stuff you're talking about there about, trying to engage the youth, really exciting. And as always,
definitely,
if we can be of any sort of assistance, we always will be. So please, keep us in the loop. Thank you so much for coming to Ouzo Talk.
Thank you for the amazing cheese I'm having in front of me.
Definitely.
And the tsikoudria.
I don't know if it came on air, but Yanni Malikurti like the same cheese, the truffle cheese.
Yeah.
So you've got that one thing in common.
This is karma.
Yes. Look, thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much.
It was amazing listening to your story, introducing you to the community. You only been here 2.5 months.
He's a good man.
He is. And he looks sharp. You look well presented. We're proud to have you on our team.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
We're better than the Victorian Consul General. What is it? Who have they got?
I don't know who that is.
We usually compete. Who's got the better Consul General? I think we're winning.
Ours is better looking, right?
Yeah.
Greeks are the best.
Yes,
We
that's
are.
it. Boom. Mic drop.
Before we finish up, Chrisa, we know that you are leaving our shores very shortly, so thank you so much for coming to Australia, number one. Thank you so much for being, for your friendship and for everything that you've done for the community while you've been here. We've loved having you here and just wish you all the best. We can't wait to see what you do next.
You're like part of the family now. All of you guys are.
Absolutely. Everyone always has a home here at Ouzo Talk. Well, guys, again, thank you very much. ouzotalk@outlook.com is the email. Follow us on social media at Ouzo Talk and at Ouzo_talk. Also on Instagram and YouTube. Nika Thanasiou, thank you very much. And thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Ouzo Talk is produced, written and presented by Tom Skolarikas and Nika Thanasiou. Our theme music is written and played by Peter Apostolidis, with additional music from George Kalapidis and Bouzouki legend Thanasis Polikadriotis.
Ακολουθήστε μας στο Soundees, στο Spotify, στο Apple Podcasts και στο Google Podcasts.